global media coverage on Modi's visit to Israel. We have Sanjeev Srivastava, foreign affairs expert in this discussion. Dr. Srivastava, thanks very much for joining me. Firstly, Prime Minister Modi, of course, has left for Israel. What's key in this meeting, in your opinion? We're looking at trade, we're looking at defense, but what is the likely outcome?
Well, I think this visit by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Israel is of enormous significance. And this significance is not only limited to our bilateral ties, but also in regional situation. If you look at considering those situations and future scenarios, this visit is of enormous significance. First, I will discuss about the bilateral ties. This is Prime Minister Modi's second visit to Israel, and obviously during this visit, a lot of sectors on which the focus is going to be, and particularly the main focus should be on obviously agriculture, water management, science and technology, innovation, like areas are going to be in focus during this visit. Prime Minister Modi is going to address the Israeli Parliament, Knesset, and obviously the whole Middle East region and the whole world, rather, I would say, will listen carefully what Prime Minister Modi says in his address in Israeli Parliament. And obviously the bilateral relationship between India and Israel is deepening, is growing. And after this visit, I am very sure that it will attain heights. The Iran tense situation is continuously going on. And in that kind of a scenario, the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to give a very constructive message. And India has been a country which has always advocated for peace, dialogue, understanding, and cooperation, as well as India has been pushing forward this idea of having dialogue among various countries and civilizations. And I'm sure that Prime Minister Modi, when he addresses the Israeli Parliament, he will outline his vision, what he thinks about the Middle East region, and how he views the entire situation, and what kind of a constructive role India could play in that process. I'm sure he is going to be touching upon and outlining his vision for the Middle East region too. But in my assessment, this visit is happening at a very crucial, critical time when the tension between Israel, Iran, and the United States of America is very deep. And Prime Minister Modi, as a visit, is going to be creating some kind of a constructive environment with regard to addressing this issue amicably and peacefully. So I believe that this visit is of enormous significance. And another point I would like to highlight, that when India and Israel is going to have a greater defense collaboration, obviously the focus will also be on our counter-terrorism and intelligence sharing cooperation.
Yes.
And on that front, Israel is having enormous experience. And there are reports that Israel could give its Iron Dome technology to India, several other very advanced technologies which Israel uses against terrorism and against defending against various terrorist organizations. Whenever they attack these kind of air defense systems, Israel, which gives a very good performance. So I think Israel might offer those very advanced air defense systems to India along with transfer of technology. So there are such reports also. So I expect that this visit is going to be delivering very good outcomes, and India is going to be benefited enormously, particularly in the defense and security realm. But as far as the Israel is concerned, if you look at the various reports which are coming from Israeli media, that Israel is giving a lot of importance, a very big importance to this visit, and the entire Israeli establishment is gearing up to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There are some internal issues there that are going on, but that happens in any democracy. But obviously, this visit Israel is also looking forward to with enormous significance, and I believe that Prime Minister Modi is going to get a very grand welcome there in Israel.
Right. Mr. Srivastav, thanks very much for your comments. Requested to stay on with me. Viewers, let's tell you once again, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has departed for Israel on a 2-day state visit to strengthen bilateral cooperation across defense, security, trade, science, technology, agriculture, water management and people-to-people ties. Prime Minister will address Israel's parliament, the Knesset, meet Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and call on President Isaac Herzog. The visit will review progress in the India-Israel strategic partnership and may see signing of MOUs on defense and security cooperation. This marks Modi's second visit in 9 years following the elevation of ties to a strategic partnership in 2017. International and Israeli media have highlighted the historic nature of the visit, with the Jerusalem Post featuring Modi prominently on its front page and publishing interviews emphasizing the deepening bilateral relationship. Modi will also meet Israeli President Isaac Herzog, and discussions will cover regional security, economic cooperation and collaboration in emerging technologies. The visit is underscoring growing strategic alignment between the two nations amid a volatile Middle East context. We also have in this discussion Dr. Sharath Kohli, senior economist. Dr. Kohli, there are talks of an FTA that's likely between India and Israel. How important is that going to be if established?
Well, good afternoon, Kriti, to you, Sanjeev, and the viewers. I think Prime Minister Modi is going to get a big shalom, from Israel. As Sanjeev pointed out, it's coming at a very crucial time because there are tensions around Iran and Israel is at the forefront. We all know that Israel is at the if America decides to go after Iran, I think Israel would be in the forefront. It is going to be the country which is going to launch this attack, coordinate or whatever, So I think a very critical time to visit because India is friends with Iran as well. But I'm sure this visit will be seen as a peacemaking visit that probably he'll like to calm down the tempers which are rising because of Iran's proliferation of nuclear pursuits and aspirations. But on the economic front, we have about $7 to $9 billion of bilateral trade with Israel. I'm leaving out the defense part because defense, India, Israel have been there for a long time. And so this $7 to $9 billion, basically, Kriti, it includes agriculture products, electronics, chemicals, and a lot of them are diamonds also, by the way. And we should also not forget, Kriti, that Israel is one of the places. I have worked with some of the businessmen in Israel. And at one point of time, I had also learned to speak Hebrew, which I've forgotten now. It's been a long time. It is one of the greatest startup ecosystems in the world, Of course, India, China, US are top 3 startup ecosystems. But then Israel, despite being a small country, is a very, very useful startup ecosystem. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of collaborative deals and pacts signed on startups as well, because there is a delegation which is moved with Prime Minister. And this delegation will be deliberating because Israel is known for innovation. And now India is known for innovation. We've just finished the AI Impact Summit. Yes. So I think the memories of that summit will be fresh on the minds, and Israel is going to bank upon that. So I think I'm seeing the visit very positively because it's not very often that Indian heads of state do visit Israel. And as I said, and as Sanjeev said, the visit is coming at a very, very crucial time. So one should look forward to some very constructive developments from the visit. One can look forward to some great economic pacts being signed during the visit. And one can look forward to very close relationship between India and Israel going forward. That Iran factor remains. Let's see what comes out, Kriti, on that.
Well, absolutely. Let's, in fact, go back to Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, who continues to stay with us. Mr. Srivastav, now there's also this hexagon alliance that Israel has floated against radicalization and radical elements with India as a partner. What is this really signaling?
Well, it's a visionary idea. It's a visionary initiative which Israel is attempting to take, and let's hope that it gets desired success. Because there's no doubt that the terrorist organizations those organizations who are having the satanic ideas of a clash of civilizations. They want to make this entire Middle East region they want to keep it on the boil, and they want to isolate Israel totally in the Middle East region. And that is why this Hamas terrorist organization, they carried out the biggest attack on Israel on 7th October 2023. And the real purpose of that attack was obviously to isolate Israel and to derail this entire normalization process, which was going on after the signing of the Abraham Accords in 2020. And this Abraham Accords was also a very good idea, which President Trump had initiated. This Abraham Accords was obviously supporting this dialogue among civilizations, dialogue between Jews, Muslims, and Christians. And that kind of a dialogue, when it started, and then started getting success, certain countries of the Arab Muslim world, particularly UAE and Bahrain, they had recognized Israel. Saudi Arabia was also going to recognize Israel, and they were seriously thinking about it. But obviously, the Hamas-like terrorist organization did not want to get that kind of a success which Israel was attempting to make, America was attempting to get, and that's why they carried out this attack, so that to derail this entire process of normalization, what we know as a peace process, a regional integration process. That process was obviously, it got a serious setback that time. But let's hope that that kind of a normalization process also goes on. And if you ask President Trump, every time he says that he wants to put that normalization process, the peace process, back on track. And because of that, the certain good initiatives came up, like India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, I2U2 initiative. In that initiative, obviously, India, Israel, UAE, and the United States of America was part of it. So I think these ideas of having dialogue among civilizations, dialogue among countries against radicalism and terrorism is a great idea. And this Hexagon Alliance, obviously, it's a much bigger plan than this normalization process or the Abraham Accords. Obviously, it's a great idea, and India is considering about it. India, this proposal has come to us. And obviously, Indian government is very much looking at it. And I'm sure that whenever progress will be made, India will contribute to it in a big way. So I believe that India has always been the supporter of having dialogue and understanding among countries, among civilizations. And that is what it appears as of now, this Hexagon Alliance is also having such kind of ideas and intentions. So I believe that it's a great idea, and let's hope how far it goes. But there's no doubt that if we have to establish a permanent peace and security in the Middle East region, this dialogue among civilization is the need of the hour, and that's only that's how only you can defeat this satanic, I call it satanic idea of a clash of civilization. This terrorist, they want to propagate, and they want to carry out such kind of agendas. If you have to defeat it, this dialogue among civilization is a must for the Middle East region and also for the whole world.
Right. Thank you very much once again for your comment, Mr. Srivastava. Dr. Sharad Kohli continues to stay with us. Doctor, the focus entirely is also on defense. Laura rampage, spice bombs are in the spotlight. There are also talks of a dome that Israel could assist India with. Where are we really looking at as far as the defense partnership is concerned? How much can India really benefit from this, and also Israel?
Well, India-Israel defense partnership is age-old, Kriti. It's been a very, very long-standing relationship. You know, we've been in relationship with Israel for defense equipment for decades now. And I think ramping up India's defense manufacturing has been a milestone as far as India is concerned. And Israel did recognize that. Israel respects the fact that India, from one point which was importing even nuts and bolts from abroad for the tanks and the guns, today India is making aircrafts as well. So I think this new initiative from India is going to excite Israel, because there are a lot of defense equipment, components, parts which India needs from Israel, which Israel has been manufacturing for a number of years now. So I think India's initiative on manufacturing of defense equipment is not going to deter the bilateral trade of defense equipment from Israel. In fact, it will even push it further because India is now going to need a lot more stuff for defense. And I'm sure Israel will be a good PR partner for India as far as defense is concerned, because Israel world over is known for its defense equipment. So I think if there's a good word which Israel spreads around the world, India's defense manufacturing, which is catching up very fast, will get coupled with more of defense exports and will start getting more robust from here on. But overall, I think situation in Israel as of now, I feel is very delicate, because any trigger of aggression in Iran, it will put Israel in a very tight spot, because Israel, as I said, can be at the forefront, and the Arabic nations, if they stand in support of Iran on what's happening, because US has literally surrounded Iran at this point of time. And most of the Arab nations have declined to allow their land or geographies to be used for attacks. Even UK has denied that now. So I think Israel, as I said, will be a very strategic position. I'm sure Prime Minister Modi and the delegation, this is on their mind. And one of the agenda, I feel, Kriti, for Prime Minister Modi is to convey a message of peace, that look, aggression and attacks on countries will not lead you anywhere. Of course, bowing down or trimming down the terrorist activity should be on agenda of any country. But overall, I think triggering unrest in the Middle East or West Asia, I'm sure Prime Minister will give that message that, we should try and solve by diplomatic means on whatever Iran wants to do, whatever. But then as far as defense is concerned, I think India's augmentation of its own defense capabilities after this visit is definitely going to be seen, and defense is on top of the agenda. A lot of agriculture products are also on the agenda, Kriti, for that matter. Chemicals, electronics, they are also on the agenda. And then, as I said, I'm looking forward to a lot of new startup tie-ups, or innovations after this visit, Kriti.
Right. Dr. Kohli, thanks very much for your assessment there. In fact, viewers, let's now look at